Where are you at Paris?
All right, Pirate fans in surrounding areas, welcome to another episode of the Pirates Cove podcast. This is a special podcast. This is RFYFL episode number 1, 2024. So that means we're going to be talking Rockport Fulton Pirates youth football. And I've been out here for the last 2 years watching these home games, and these kids. They'll amaze you. They can do some things, especially at the freshman level where I saw some kids do some amazing things. So looking forward to watching these kids continue to grow in this league as they're the future of the Pirates, right? As they get into middle school and then into high school. And so we wanted to start a podcast this year, one that tonight's episode number 1, going into every Wednesday once the season starts. It'll start about the end of August. So we'll have one every Wednesday at 8. Hopefully, the coaches and president can come on and they'll preview games. And they will talk about their players. And that's mainly one of the things that we want to focus on this year is our players, the development, how the coaches talk about the growth of the kids, and then also talk about the performances that you guys will see on Saturday. So on the screen here, I've got the president of the league, Steve Cantu. Steve, how you doing?
Hey, I'm blessed, brother, and I'm happy to be here.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much. And to the community, if you guys got any questions for Steve, like I said, we're going to come on every Wednesday. You can send your questions over to our email. That is gtsports6464 at hotmail.com. You can just send it over there. Just make sure it's a football question, youth. And Steve said that we'll pass it on to him, and he'd be more than glad to answer any questions that parents or anybody may have concerning the league or the teams. And then I talked about we have the 4 coaches, and I'll start off with our freshman division coach. It's Mr. Chino Cantu. Chino, how you doing?
Doing all right, brother. Blessed to be
Thank you
here.
for, yeah, absolutely. Thank you for making some time to be out here with us. The head coach for the sophomore division will be Mr. Ron Leyva. Ron, how are you doing?
Doing great, Gabe. Thanks for having me. Right, excited to be here. That just means it's football season, so excited.
Absolutely. And then when we get to our junior divisions, our head coach for that division is Mr. Landon Diserens. Landon, how you doing?
I'm doing good. That we're all on here. Football time, so time to go.
Yes, sir. For a lot of people, that's the best time of the year. And then our senior division, our big boys, will be headed by Mr. Scott Hall. Scott, how are you doing?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great, guys. Thank you very much. And again, these guys, they put in a lot of time coaching. They do a lot of the behind the scenes. Where this program is now, a lot of it goes to these 5 guys and a whole bunch of other people. But since I been here watching and prior, when I go watch a game, they do so much for the youth program and a lot of the kids' development and where we're at. These guys just do. They put plenty of hours throughout the season to make this a success. So definitely Rockport Fulton, the community, we are happy to have you guys on. And thank you for everything that you do for our youth because it starts there. That's where they learn the game. And I'm going to pass it over to Steve. He's going to have some Q&As and talk a little bit about that. But before I pass it over, I wanted Ron Leyva to talk a little bit about one of the athletes that's played, Carter Jones. He and his family are going through a tough time now. And I wanted Ron to say a few words about Carter, what he means to the youth program. And, I've seen a lot of people, videos, and putting some fundraisers and things together to help out Carter and the family. And I got to tell you that that's great. The community coming together to help this young man and his family. And it's great to see that support. So many people coming out, wishing them well. And then, it's comforting at a time like this for the family to know that they got the support of Rockport-Fulton, which they do. And we'll continue to pray for Carter and his family. But Ron, I wanted to pass it over to you and have you talk a little bit about Carter. And if anybody else has anything to say, please feel free after Ron.
Right. No, absolutely right. So, uh, it's an honor, right, to even be mentioning the kid, right? Carter. came into the picture when he was 4.5, 5 years old. At that time, me and Chino laid eyes on him, and we thought he was 7 for how big he was. He's always been a big kid, and from that moment on, it just kind of, just like most of our relationships with our athletes, it just clicked, right? The parents, the athlete and coach, relationship was amazing. Carter's been a hardworking kid. You rarely hear no from him, right? It's always one mode with the kid, and it's go go go, right? And he's every coach's dream athlete. As for me, right? It's obviously real. I'm gonna try to say it without getting a little emotional, but it's hard, right, to just kind of maneuver through a situation like this when you got a kid for so long, because it becomes personal, right? I know I can speak for Steve, Chino, Scott, Landon, right? Majority of our coaches, right? One thing that we all share is a kid that comes into our presence. He's not just a kid, right? He becomes like our own from the very get go, and we do everything we can to keep it like that. And Carter's been that kid, plus 10. Great kid, hardworking athlete. Not only in football, but if you see the kid in baseball, I believe he's now coach pitch. But if you see the kid in coach pitch, you would hear, you would think the kid is a lot older than what he needs to be. He slams the ball, right? He makes all the big time plays. Carter Jones is that dude, right? And he's a special kid. So, all of us are doing everything we can to try to ease the worry and the pain, right? As for me, right, like I said, Carter has one mode, and it doesn't matter, right, how good we do in the fall, right? He's already asking his parents, hey, when is flag season? When is spring season? When is summer season? To where mom and dad are already have him signed up for summer and spring, just because that's his demand. He wants to get better. And I have never, and I mean it when I say this, I have never met a kid like him, right, that wants to just play, football and be out there with his teammates, just like Carter. I know Chino can vouch for it, so can Steve. You know, it's always, my two kids, Beano Noah, Kane, Cantu, and then Carter Jones. They're always the last four staying 30 minutes or an hour after every practice, either throwing the ball, playing around. That's just the motor that he's used to. And the boys, they become so close. It's their practice after practice, and you grow a lot like that. So love Carter, right? Praying that everything continues to go good for him. It brings a lot of memory back of our previous years. And I got to tell you, Carter playing on my summer flag LSU team, we went and we won the championship for him. That's all he wanted, was to be out there on the football field. And by the grace of God, I was able to maneuver through this thanks to Steve and Chino and Bull, right? Because we've went through this before back in 2018, unfortunately. And, we put our heads together, and these guys were, able to put some pieces to the puzzle together, and they were able to help the community get through it. And I know they don't seek credit, right? And they never will ever ask for credit, right? But I got to tip my hat off to everything Steve and Chino do, because it's so selfless, right? They see a child hurting, they see me down and depressed, because they know the connection, and they're getting after it, trying any little thing to put stuff together. So, those guys will always be my inspiration, you know. So, but with that being said, you know, we were able to put our heads together this Saturday from 12 to 5 at Tiger Field. We're doing a brisket and chicken plate. You know, you're gonna have the one and only Steve and Chino on the grill. You know, cooking it up. You know, we got a bunch of awesome stuff coming up. You know, gonna have sides, gonna have a good amount, and all the proceeds are gonna go to Carter and his family. Um, because he has a rough road ahead, right? We know what it's like to, you know, this type of thing don't just go away in a week or two or in a month. You know, we know the long roads ahead, right? And so these guys are going above and beyond. And you know, another great thing that they were able to do was, you know, they were able to, you know, donate proceeds from last summer or from the last summer game, you know. And again, you know, that's stuff you don't really hear about, but you know, when I close my eyes at night, I thank the Lord that, you know, I'm around guys like that care for not only themselves but for players, because God forbid, right? And I mean no disrespect by saying that, but you know, if I was ever in that unfortunate situation, I know these guys would do the same, you know. So Carter, we love you. You know, we all are rooting for him, you know, and I think it's just a testament of Pirate pride, and it's showing more than ever right now.
Absolutely, Ron, and thank you. I've seen a lot of stuff that's being posted, and like I said, people posting a video. I saw the varsity football team, the high school, and you know, for a family that's going through that, it's a little comforting to know that you have a community that cares about you and everything you guys are putting together for Carter and his family. So definitely the benefit. We'll continue to talk about that. Definitely go out, show support for one of our very own. The family definitely appreciate it. Thank you guys for doing all of that, Steve. I'll pass it over to you. I'm not sure if you have words of Carter, if anybody else want to, but you can take it from here and lead us.
We'll kind of slide in and out. What I want to do right now is I want to introduce these guys. I mean, they're well known. Don't get me wrong. You know, they're well known in the community. The parents, you know, love them and respect them, and they have a following of the kids. But I want to try to get some of this information to maybe some of these newer parents that are new to the town, and just kind of give them a little sneak peek into you know, the man themselves, you know, the coaches, a little bit of insight. And so my questions are going to kind of go in and out of that, maybe a little bit of a bio, what they know about their rosters and stuff like that. So I'm going to start off with Landon. Landon's coaching our junior boys, and this goes for everybody. When the search was out for coaches, I wanted to align the, you know, RFYFL with the best possible candidates that we could. These guys, like I said, their resume speaks for themselves. They got a bit of a cult following, and you know, like I said, they're well known and well respected. So, you know, Landon was an easy choice for the sophomore division. But I want you, Landon, I want you to speak to the community a little bit and give us a little background into Landon, the coach.
All right, so yeah, I'm doing the junior division. So no, I had to give you a little bit of a hard time.
Yeah.
So yeah, a little bit of background. I've been in Rockport now for, I guess, going on my 5th year. We came in, moved down here for work, and loved it. Never left. Kids instantly, you know, got into sport. 3 kids, and 2 of them do sports. One of them, he's just getting ready to start with soccer this year. So, you know, if I'm not coaching one of my kids, it's one of the many other ones that I get phone calls from saying, "Hey, coach, I need help with this," or "Let's go throw a ball around. Can you come get us and take us all up to the football field?" So it's either work or play.
Yeah.
But that's what it feels like. That's all. You know, you got to have fun with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Now I'm going to go to our elder statesman over here, Scott Hall. Scott Hall has went through the ranks a couple of times now. He's recycling, coming back through. But he was a long time board member, vice president of the league for many years. And so, Scott, first and foremost, man, we're so damn lucky to have you, and falling into that senior coach position. I think that just suits you, it just fits you like a glove. And like I said, we're so lucky to have you. But give me a little background into Scott Hall, the coach, if you would, please.
I started coaching 2004, where I started coaching semi-pro football. And then I left there after 3 years and started coaching my son in Rockport-Fulton youth football in 2007 as an assistant coach in the junior division. And then in the senior division that year with Martin and John Hernandez, because they needed another coach, I was doing juniors and seniors. And then seniors, I took over from seniors from 2008 to 2017 there at Rockport RFYFL, along with doing select football year-round with our kids to get them ready for junior high, high school, and college. Yeah. It's all about the kids, getting them ready for their next level that they want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you fit in perfectly. You're gonna be inserted to a part of their lives that's important, because most of these kids are sixth graders going into seventh grade next year, and giving them a little glimpse of what seventh grade ball is going to be. And then with you at the helm there, I think it's just a perfect fit. You coming into these kids' lives at a very important time, because there's quite a bit of first timers on that senior division, so they're definitely going to need that help to bridge that gap to prepare them for next year. So, yeah, man, welcome aboard. All right, next we're going to see how Ron. Yeah, that's going to be about 30-minute answer. We're going to go to Chino so we can save some of the time. We'll go to Coach Chino. Chino, just talk to me a little bit about yourself and what got you into football, and a little bit of your credentials.
We moved here, I think, 2007 or 2008. I played junior football for Rockport. To be honest, the community, the town, the game of football changed my life for the better. I moved over here not playing too much football. I might have played a middle school game, but it was short term. So I came over here and started playing ball over here. And I just fell in love with the town and fell in love with the game. And just continued to grow. After high school, obviously, I wasn't playing no more. So I kind of just fell right into coaching youth sports. My first year of coaching was my senior year, which was 2011. So that's how long I've been coaching.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, man, we're damn glad to have you. And if I don't say so myself, the apple don't fall too far from the tree. Mm-hmm. All right, we're gonna save the best for last here. We're gonna go to Coach Ron, and let's see how much oxygen's in that room, and see if we can get this whole statement out. But Coach Ron, talk to the people a little bit about Ron Leyva, and what Ron Leyva is all about.
Oh well, no, man. Honestly, football, right? To me, it's life-saving. You know what I mean? It saved me personally. Like Chino said, right, for the better. Started off right, growing up in the area, right. Graduated from Aransas. Wish I would have graduated from Rockport, but it didn't happen that way. I actually played against Chino and I hated it, right? Him and he was the Darren Fram area, or they were a great group, right? But our property has always been in the county, and Rockport's always been home, right? Obviously, but I got in a kind of a sticky situation where I had no choice but to go with football, right? Back in 2009, right? I skipped school, did a couple things teenagers do, right? And it got me kicked off the football team. 2009, my youth coach introduced me to coaching, and it was, hey, go this way or go left. And I wanted to go right, stick to football. And from there on out, every summer, I got a little bit more in detail of coaching. It was like Chino, we were young, in school, but still coaching somewhat. And I've just kind of been running with it ever since, going on, I think this makes 15 seasons where I've been fortunate to help. Learned a lot, right? To where I'm ready to spread the wings one day and hang it up for something higher, which is in the works, God willing. But when that happens, that happens. Went to Refugio for a little bit. Spent about 2 years over there, 3 years, and then a gentleman by the name of Bull Solis and Steve Cantu. We ran into each other at Tiger Field, and we met during that time, and it just everything made sense to come back home, and we came back home, and like I said, it was just a very fortunate situation because at the time my mother was sick, right? And everything made sense, and when I tell you these guys, they showed me what true friendship and true love was, right? For the game and for the community. Pirate football means a lot, and they did that plus more. So, I love the kids. I love what green and gold stands for, right? In my eyes, it's a lot bigger than yourself than one another. So, uh, I love kids, man. I love working with them of all ages, and the good Lord put me here with these guys, and I'm doing what He set me to do for right now until it's time to move on. So really, really grateful.
Well, we're glad to have you. Hey, Scott, let's get into the roster a little bit, Scott, if we will. I know you have your roster. Do you know much about your boys? Have you met any of them? Have you had any meetings with them? Do you have any ideas and plans for the kids?
Yeah, I've had a couple meetings, my parents' meetings. I've met my kids a little bit right now. I've had about 12 of them. I've had 20 parents. I've had about 12 kids come out. So we had parents' meetings. I really haven't got to put my hands and voice to mouth to them yet at all. I really don't know all of them. A couple of them I know. Like I know my son, obviously. Peyton Hall. And then Drake Martin. I had him a little bit working with him over the summer. But other than that, right now, I do have one female on my team. The nickname is Icebox.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
And she wants to be a tight end. She can catch. I threw the ball with her a little bit. And she can catch the ball. So that's a good sign right there.
Yeah. Well, both you and I know a little something about. Both you and I know a little something about coaching up girls in football. So I'm sure she'll be just fine. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Lando, have you had time to introduce yourself to your team? I know you might have met some of them during summer workouts and maybe through flag. Walk me through the roster as far as you know. I mean, you don't have to hit on every kid, but touch on a little bit of maybe some athletes that you're looking forward to coaching, either for the first time or returning, and what kind of studs you got down there.
Oh, I got a couple that are pretty good. I've had some of them. I've had the privilege. Some other coach talked me into coming to run a summer flag the last couple of years to go win championships over there, and said, hey, Rockport can do it other places too. So when Ron did that, I said, you know what? Let me pull some of these Rockport kids and start doing it. And I just so happen to have them on my team now. Dominic Castaneda.
Yeah.
Fast, strong. That's all you can wish for in a running back / wide receiver. Everyone's just gonna have to watch Trey. He may be the shortest on the field, but he's probably the quickest on the field too.
Yeah.
Once he gets into open field, he don't go down.
Trey Shepard, right?
Trey Shepard.
Yeah.
Then Trip showing, Trip started a couple years ago. The first time I met him, and I've had him in a couple things here or there. And then I was like, man, he's big. Junior, he's about 5'3" now, 5'2".
Oh yeah.
It's a big 10-year-old, and he may be the fastest kid on the field. So, saying that's something special with the bunch of speed we got out there.
Yeah.
I got a defensive weapon, Talon Vanderpaul. I got a bunch of speed. I got a bunch of talent. Landon. Landon Jeremiah. I happen to have the roster. Landon Jeremiah. Trey Sean's coming up to be a weapon. Had one kid come from out of town. Came from AP that said, "Hey, I want to come play over here." So you know what? We don't turn kids away. He's new. There's some new ones I'm anxious to see this year. Of course, my son Raylan's back over here with me. Mr. QB1. I think everybody's either seen him or talked to him. Probably one of the loudest on the field. And then my other one that's going to be electric is going to be Davin McKnight. He can catch probably anything you throw at him. So we should have a lot of fun this year.
Yeah, it sounds like you're jam-packed, and I believe with your leadership and the offense that you run, it's going to be pick your poison, right? Who are you going to cover?
Yep.
You want to double team somebody? Who you going to double team? So, I mean, I think sky's the limits for your team because you are spread out and you got talent up and down that lineup. That's no doubt about that. Ronald, you coaching sophomores. Ron, what do you know about your sophomore team? Any returners and any first-year guys that you're, seeing some positive things on?
Yes, sir. So I happen to be, right, as I call it, right, the most, at least the most kind of the one that, a little bit pressured, right, because the expectations are everybody knows this group. Gabriel, Scott, Landon, right, in case y'all don't know, right, I might as well fill y'all in. This happens to be the same group almost that Steve, Chino, and myself had 2 years ago, right, that made it to the Super Bowl. Was about 6 points away, right, and it just slipped away. And, so expectations of this group are extremely high. I'd be lying to say they weren't, and then they only just raised more higher because of, Carter Jones, and him being on this team. So I've made it personal, right, to myself that, don't get me wrong, but all other seasons I've been all in, right? But I'm really going all in this year when it comes to doing everything I can to making it happen because it's bigger than myself this time. So as far as personnel, right, we got a kid named Mateo Lopez. Mateo's played with us, right, for the past year or two. At first, he was a little shy, right, but if you've seen this kid play summer flag, you would think, wow, this kid has grown so much. So I'm going to go out and say it. Mateo Lopez is going to be a force to reckon with, I think, on both sides of the ball, right? He's finally found his groove for football, and I think that kid's gonna really fly. Another one we got coming back that not a lot of people talk about. Actually, another two that not a lot of people talk about. Just so happens to be related to Steve and Chino, right? Messiah and Javen Cantu. These guys are the quietest dudes on the field, but when you see them on the field and you need them to do a job, they're going to do the job and they're not going to complain. They're going to give it full force. I watched Javen and Messiah during the baseball season. They've gotten faster. They've gotten stronger. They've matured more. and you want that on a football field. And, you know, I feel like we can put those two dudes anywhere and they're going to sprout. Another guy that I think is going to really, really give a lot of people problems, nobody talks about, is Liam Storm. If you watched Liam when we played back in a couple of years ago for our Super Bowl, right? By the last second or third or fourth week, right? He came around, and playoffs came, and the championship came, and me and Chino and Steve we're watching him, right? And I told myself, like, holy cow, this kid is just, he's literally grunting at the age of 5, 6, as he's tackling a kid, you know. And we got him back, and he's going to be a huge asset all the way around. You know, we got Grayson Cotton. Put him on any side of the ball, he's going to do damage. You got Jet Garcia. Jet Garcia's coming back, and when I tell you that kid's fast, that kid's fast. You know, he's going to be a huge asset. You got Camden Solis. If you don't know Camden, go back on RFYFL, go back to the Raiders page, go back to type his name up, and you're going to see what Camden can do, right? You got my son, Bino Leyva. If you didn't see Bino, you don't know Bino, wait till he hits you, and then you're going to remember who he is, right? You can put that dude on any side of the ball. You know, so where we're at now, I think we got a good problem, right? We got so many position players. Me and my staff, right? Which is me and DJ, me and Julian, me and a couple guys, right? Chino, right? We Steve, we haven't fully talked it through, but it's like, who do you put where? Because these guys are so experienced, they're so aggressive, they're so fast. It's a great problem to have, and I'm going to be dumb if I'm not saying our goal is to get our lick back from 2 years ago and go win. So we're in a good spot, and we got a heck of a team.
Yeah, no, I agree with you about the pressure on you, because you do got a bit of a stacked team there, and if you failure to launch, yeah, I don't know. We're probably going to have to review your coaching contract for next year, buddy. But no, I'm just joking. But no, I love your squad. You do have a huge group of talented kids, so we're looking forward to big things. We're going to go to Chino for just a little bit and talk to Chino about his expectations for his freshman team this year.
I'm going into season with some high expectations, right? We've literally have been working and getting after it since the day that we lost that playoff game, November. So we've been working since November 7th, the exact date, something like that. From then on, we've done spring and summer flag. So we've been doing a lot of work. The guys have been getting a lot of work in, and they've progressively gotten better in the off season. A lot of kids. We only got 6 returners that are coming back from last year's team. 6 guys, some way, shape, or form, was on the field making tackles, making blocks, helping out the team. I got a roster of 18 kids. There's only 2 players on the whole roster that I have not seen ever. You know what I mean? The rest of them, I've been watching them in flag, either playing with me or playing against us. And there's a lot of speed, there's a lot of athleticism, a lot of aggressiveness. So sky's the limit for this group. They got a lot of potential right now. Yeah,
no, that's awesome. Yeah, no, I agree, man. That freshman team is going to be fun to watch. Their offensive coordinator is a bit of a genius, and it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting to see. But hey, listen, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to see if Gabriel's got anything to say, but I'm excited about the season, the upcoming season, the guys that we have in place. You know, the teams and all their chances. I mean, we could, Gabriel, there is a possibility that we do a clean sweep this year, and that would be something that's never been done in the history of RFYFL. We've had a couple win at a time, but never 4. But I think with this group of coaches and all these talented players that we have around them, there is a chance to do this all again. So man, I'm excited for this upcoming season and these coaches' corners. We're going to get better at them. You guys are going to get more comfortable with it. And then once you have something to really talk about, because you're out there practicing and learning these kids every day, these meetings and these podcasts are going to go a lot smoother and more exciting. So I'm looking forward to that. Gabriel, you got anything?
Yeah, I got a few things. Landon, did you say you had a Trip Shane on your team?
Shane?
Yeah, did he say that one of his kids was Trip Shane?
Yeah.
Landon, is his father Robert Shane?
Yeah.
Landon?
His audio's cutting in and out, but yeah, his father's
Robert Shane. So I don't know if you guys know Robert Shane, but I do. Robert Shane was always one of the bigger kids when we were in school, a little older than me. But that guy, any sport he played a lot of sports, but he was very physical when he played, and he had a lot of power when he played. So if you played against him, man, it was going to be tough. So if his son is anything like his father, then you've got a kid on your hands that's going to do a lot of damage to a lot of people, because Robert Shane did a lot of bad. He was a physical kid, man. When he played physical, and you knew it when you went against him. And whether it was soccer, if it was basketball, just the two sports I remember watching him play. So if he's anything like his father, you got Landon a heck of an athlete there on your team, guys. Thank you very much. Like I said, we just wanted to kind of just throw this podcast together to kind of let the community know a little bit about yourselves. We'll come back the Wednesday before the first game. We'll set up another podcast. Hopefully everyone can come on and we'll talk more about the assistants, more about the games that are coming up, the schedule. And like I said, if you have any questions, direct it over to our email, gtsports6464@hotmail.com. Send it over to Steve, and he'll answer them for you on the podcast. Thank you guys very much. Have a great night, Steve. Thank you very much, man. And we'll talk to you guys in a couple of weeks.
All right.
Boy.
You.
Hey, practice next week. Y'all ready?
Oh,
Yes, sir.
Hey, really quick before we cut off, I want to give a shout out to Carter Jones and his family. You're in our thoughts and our prayers, bub. The whole town's behind you, man.
Yeah,
amen.
Awesome. And a reminder, we're having that barbecue benefit this Saturday, 5 to 12. We're going to go heavy on these plates. We're going to go brisket and chicken, all the sides, rice, beans, potato salad. I know that's kind of Mexican and kind of, you know what I'm saying, with the potato salad. But when I think barbecue, I think rice and beans. So I just automatically jumped to that. I didn't really think about it. But anyway, yeah, we're going to really stack these plates up deep. They're $15 a plate. We encourage everybody to come out. Let's sell out. Let's give Carter Jones, a little boost, right? Because their family needs it right now. So, yeah, look for that and a lot more other things, Gabriel, we got going on. I mean, I know Ron put together what they're calling a food train, where when they do come home from the hospital, meals are going to be taken, prepared for them daily. They got people lined up for that. There's a lot of other stuff that there's so many people that are putting their minds and their pocketbooks together to come together for Carter, man. Absolutely.
Well, Steve and Ron, if there's anything we can do here on the Pirates Coast Sports Network, I'll definitely be there, and I'll donate some money, obviously, for Carter. And if there's anything else, Steve, that we can do here on the Pirates Coast Sports Network, let us know, man, and we'll help out. We'll be glad to help out.
Yes,
absolutely,
sir.
Absolutely.
Hey, right fast. One more thing, right fast, Gabe. Thank you for putting us out there, man. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Anytime. Right there.
Thank you, boys. Y'all enjoy y'all night.
All right, guys.
All night.
Y'all have a good one.
Yes, sir.
So that was our first podcast of our RFYFL episode number 1. We just wanted to quickly kind of come up and introduce our coaches for the 2024 season, and of course our president, Steve Cantu. And like I said, all of these guys have been around for so long. They do so much for our youth. And for me personally, I it's all on a volunteer basis, and they never say no. And this is just a few of so many others that I see out there that are doing everything they can to continue to help our kids develop. And for me, this is where it starts when you want to be an athlete in football. It's here, you're coaching. Here's where you got to learn the fundamentals and learn how to play the game for the next 4, 5, 6 years, whatever it is, if you're playing flag, and get as much knowledge as you can and the fundamentals down so that when you get to middle school, we're ready to go into high school. So this is why we're going to put more into our kids and giving the coaches the opportunity to come out on the podcast and talk about the games and what the kids are doing in practice, what they're doing in practice to get these kids better. And of course, what you see on the field. And again, if you have any questions regarding what RFYFL football, it's got to be just football, send it over to our email, gtsports6464@hotmail.com. And I'll pass that over to Steve, and Steve will answer your questions on that next podcast. And so definitely our goal is to promote our kids, promote the program. So definitely would love to have your support. And again, there are 3 home games I've seen this upcoming year. So we will be streaming those games. And we're putting some things together with Steve and a couple of other people to bring that to you. And hopefully we can get some sponsorships there as well. Got a lot of things planned. So tune in. The football season is just around the corner. We've got volleyball as well coming up here, I think next week, that we'll be talking about. So a lot of stuff that we're going to be doing here on the Pirates Cove Sports Network, but everything, our streams and our podcast are all going to go to the Pirates Cove Sports Network YouTube. And we do have a website that's coming out that's almost done. And if it can get done right before the season, definitely we'll be adding that over. So a lot of things to look forward to here on the Pirates Cove Sports Network. But thank you very much. As I said, this was pre-recorded and it'll be uploaded here in a bit. Once again, thank you very much. And we'll see you guys back for episode number 2 of the RFYFL, our youth football. That'll be in about a couple of weeks. So just be checking out our Facebook and Twitter pages, and we'll let you know when the next podcast is. Have a great night. Thank you very much.